Hello and welcome to another episode of Weekly Waypoint. Today we are playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for relevant reasons, and before I really talk about anything, I want to ask you a question. Would you prefer to watch a video full of replay mode stuff like this, where there's kind of cool camera angles, but conversely it's kind of hard to maybe see everything that's going on due to those camera angles? Or would you prefer just to have live feed gameplay from me, so obviously full HUD, everything? I feel like most people are probably going to want the latter, but then part of me feels like replay mode exists for a reason, and they wouldn't keep putting it in games if people didn't like it, so I don't know, I thought I'd try something new today. Also, these are online matches. Last time I did a couple of Mario Kart Weekly Waypoints, I was going to do it offline with AI, I was going to do one Championship Cup at a time. I've decided, that's boring, let's just do some online gameplay. This week, there was a Nintendo Direct. And you can hear all of my thoughts about that on the Thoughts on video I put out about it, so I'm not going to go over everything a second time in this video. But I am going to say over the last few days I've had more time to stew upon, like, you know, certain things fall out of immediate thought and memory and stuff, and other things linger, like a nice smelly fart. And one of those nice smelly farts is the extra 48 tracks being added to Mario Kart. Obviously, I'm extremely excited about that, and that's why we're playing Mario Kart today, because after that, I decided to kind of go back and, well, I was going to go back to Mario Kart DS, because I was going to see what tracks are on there that aren't on in this game. I mean, wow, can't talk. And what tracks I might want to see added, because Mario Kart DS is, I don't know if it's my favourite Mario Kart, but it's definitely my most played Mario Kart, and it's up there. It's one of my favourites for sure. And I just kind of wanted to go back, but instead I was like, I've played Mario Kart DS to death, and I probably will go back and play it again at some point soon. But I have played it to death. I've played through. I hesitate to call it a campaign because you're just doing all the tracks on 50, 100 and 150cc respectively, but I have completed a save file and deleted it and started over 4 times in that game. And I played a whole bunch of Mario Kart Wii as well. I don't have a Wii set up, but I can just go and play games on. But I mean, even when the Wii was relevant, I hardly ever had a Wii set up because the fucking motion bar shit always annoyed me. But one Mario Kart game which I did get, in fact I think I got it with my 3DS. Well, I've given it away now, haven't I? It's Mario Kart 7. And I criminally underplayed that game. I have, because you can look at the analytics of games you've played on 3DS, which I greatly appreciate. I went back and looked, and I had about 8 hours of gameplay on there, compared to playing through Mario Kart DS multiple times and playing a ton of online matches on Mario Kart. Wait, by the way, did you see that crossfade? It's something new I'm trying. Crossfades. Sorry, cannot focus on a single thing, obviously. But yeah, so I decided to play some Mario Kart 7, and I played through all of the 3DS tracks, by which I mean I haven't played for any of the retro tracks on there yet, included from previous games, but I did play through all of the retro tracks, and my biggest takeaway was I want Koopa City to be on Mario Kart 8. I want that to be one of the tracks I add. So I tweeted that, and then I went and played some Mario Kart 8, and then I realised, oh, Koopa City's already on here. Mario Kart 8 is more played than Mario Kart 7, but it is less played than Mario Kart Wii and DS in terms of how much I've played these games. But there was still some games on there, just games, there were still some tracks on there I really want to see added. I really like 3DS Rainbow Road, a lot. It's probably one of my favourite Rainbow Road tracks, because it's just really cool. And I'm one of those freaks who does like Rainbow Road tracks. Speaking of one of those freaks, so yeah, I like Rainbow Road tracks where it's frustrating because you can fall off the edge if you're not watching what you're doing. Because I remember Rainbow Road on Wii was notorious for that and everyone hated it, but I was one of the freaks that loved it. But one track I would not like to see brought forward is Bowser's Castle 3DS, because that track is just frustrating. It's the drift lines are just square, and they're just they don't exist. You're just constantly bumping into walls. There's literally a point where there's if I remember right, there's a boost, but if you hit the boost, you're just going to go straight forward into a right angle turn with lava at the left side of that corridor, meaning you're literally just boosting into lava, and even the AI do it all the time, and it's just, in my opinion, a badly designed track. But anyway, I'm not going to go on and on about every single track, mainly because I've already forgotten half of them, but yeah, there were some 3DS tracks I played through that I do definitely want to see added to Mario Kart 8, but for the most part, I think 3DS track, there are a few too many normal ones, if you know what I mean. The track you're seeing right now, I would count this, it's got a gimmick, obviously, you're underwater for a lot of it, there's dolphins around, there's pipes and stuff, but I would say it's one of the more normal courses, thematically speaking. There's a few too many of those on 3DS. But yeah, Mario Kart, fun times, fun game. Also this week, did I talk about finishing Pokemon Legends Arceus last week? Because I can't remember when I did that, but I finished the post-game, quote-unquote, apart from finishing the Pokedex. And I just found out how to get Hisuian variants of some specific Pokemon, which I need to go back in there and do. But I'm not going to rush my way through the rest of the Pokedex. That's going to be like a project where I'm probably going to come back to at some point. I'm pretty much done with Pokemon Legends Arceus is what I'm trying to say. So what is the next game I'm going to play? Well, Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm back in there, because apparently I haven't had enough of massive open world games with extremely long stories. I was a little bit worried about stepping away from Xenoblade Chronicles for too long when I did step away from it about 5 months or so ago, because it's one of those very specific games where there's a lot to learn, there's a lot of things to remember about it, and if you come back to it after a long way away, you kind of just want to start over because you don't remember how to play the game. But when I do that, I just get up to the same point in that game and then quit again. I always do that with RPGs, so I decided I was going to push for it, especially since I'd already seen up to that point in a Let's Play in terms of story, so I remembered what was going on a bit better than I probably would have. But I decided to push for it, and I did. After maybe an hour or two of playing, I remembered pretty much everything there was to remember about playing, and that game is just, it has, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. Such a unique combat system, which I think is what puts people off of playing it, probably. Sorry, that was a lot of P words. But the thing about it is when you learn it and when you figure out how to use it, it becomes so much fun. It's like, I hesitate to call it like real-time strategy combat because I don't like real-time strategy games, but it's like on the fly you are adjusting what you're going to be doing, and it really is like a turn-based combat game, but in real time, I would say. Because you've got these moves which do more damage if you're under certain conditions, you've got these moves you're supposed to do to inflict other moves, to inflict stuns, and then you got to do stuff while they're stunned and stuff like that, but because it's all happening in real time, your brain's like, okay, I'll go do this, and then you're adjusting stuff on the fly, and then because of a mechanic I won't spoil, because it's part of a storyline, you have a chance to like adjust what you're doing even more in dire emergency situations, and it's just fun. Like, I find myself running around doing side quests, not because I feel the need to level up, but just because I want to. For anyone curious, I'm about 10 hours, maybe, into the game. I'm around Colony 6. That's not a spoiler. So, there you go. That's where I am. Plenty of game ahead of me, I'm sure. Lost Ark released, changing the topic quite abruptly, and I was very excited for that game when I realised it was free to play and that I would be able to run it on my PC, but I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it, but there are a few glaring issues which make me not want to boot it up again. So first of all, they give you 6 out of your 8 abilities immediately out the gate, and this is meant to be an RPG, but there's no RPG in just giving you all of your abilities. First of all, it's overwhelming. You don't know what they all do. You have to stop and read a bunch of text, and then you can't remember every ability off the top of your head because you haven't learned it as you were going. They're just already immediately available to you, so there's that. Secondly, this is going to sound more like a personal nitpick, but bear with me. A game has to have the right fit, if you know what I mean. You have to be comfortable playing the game. You have to feel like you are in control of a character going through the world, and this is one of those games which fails at doing that because it has so many specific controls. And by that I don't just mean, oh, there's 8 abilities and you need to remember them all. I mean, like, there's like 2 different interact keys, and like there's, I don't know, I don't really have any concrete examples of it, but I just felt like I was fumbling the entire time, and it's the kind of thing that through perseverance I could train my brain to learn, I guess. But sorry, I got distracted by Wet Yoshi. When Yoshi comes out of the water, he is moist, and it looks weird. Anyway, yeah, that's my biggest issue with Lost Ark. I can't, and it's not just because I'm a lefty either. I did rebind stuff to a point where I felt like I would be able to get to grips with it, but it just felt so janky to control, and this is a PC gaming problem for sure. And I just it did not gel with me at all. And I think I still have it installed because I'm about to listen to a podcast where a bunch of people talk about Lost Ark and I'm easily influenced, so I don't want to uninstall it and then be like, I should give it another chance. So I might give it another chance. This might be a really weirdly aged video if I do give it another chance and then it becomes one of my main games or whatever, but I think I'm probably going to end up uninstalling it. And I know it has gamepad support, by the way. I did try that out. You move the cursor with the right stick because it's still important to move the cursor to click on people. So yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Gamepad support. I'm not playing it that way either. Oh, and they don't let you rebind interact, which is manually bound to G. And when I looked this up, the first response was, I don't know why you'd want to be able to rebind it. You can just download a key remapper and do it that way, which, buddy, I've got a key remapper. I'm not remapping G to something else just for the sake of this game. That's absurd. And second of all, there was a developer response simply saying, yeah, you can't rebind G. Sorry. Why? Why can't you rebind G? What's the problem? It's so dumb. It is so dumb. So yeah, Lost Ark didn't do it for me. Striking that one from the list. Sorry everyone. Okay, World of Warcraft. I'm still playing World of Warcraft, and the 9.2 patch release date got announced, which I'm still not hugely excited for, I must admit, but it is nice that there is more content along the way. I'm only 4 chapters into the 9.1 storyline. I think it's 9 chapters long. I haven't done the 9.1 raid, so I'm going to try and get on that. Ooh, another tasty crossfade. Stop watching the video while you're commentating. I figured this shit out back in like episode 5 of this series. I don't know why I'm doing it again. I get easily distracted, okay. Still, that was quite a sexy crossfade, must admit. So 9.2, Zereth Mortis, check. Interested in Zereth Mortis, I guess. Cross-faction stuff. Oh, that's 9.2.5, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. I was looking at the 9.2 patch notes. I was like, this feels kind of bare. Like, maybe it's just because I haven't looked at any preview stuff relating to 9.2. I haven't seen any stuff from the PTR. I know that there's basically another system, yay, where you can... it's a bit like No Man's Sky languages. You like translate languages and stuff, but there's been so much conversation I've barely glanced at about like whether it should just be cosmetic rewards or like how reputations should work across alts and stuff, that I feel like I have a lot to catch up on before I can really be like, oh yeah, I know what 9.2 is. But at a glance, it looks a little bare, but maybe it's all just based on like zone and story content and it's not going to feel bare at all. But I feel like normally a patch like this also has like a, oh, and also in this patch we're introducing like race armor for the Blood Elves, or we're introducing, like, they were doing new allied races for a while in BFA. I miss allied races, please bring back allied races. But I don't know why I'm whinging, I've still got plenty of 9.1 stuff to do. I'm also... yeah, this is going to be full-fledged World of Warcraft discussion, so if you don't play WoW it might sound like alien language to you, I'm afraid. I've leveled my Fury Warrior up to like level 57, he was like level 50-ish before, so I've almost got my third ult to max level. And then my fourth ult, my mage, he's called Kritigri again, but like his name is Tolidar. He's gonna be the guy I sent to Revendreth, so it won't be too much longer until I have an ult for every Covenant. I've still only really experienced the Night Fae Covenant through my main. I do have a Lightforged Draenei Paladin in the fucking Bastion Covenant, the Kyrian Covenant, because of course I do, but I've only done like the first few chapters of that like vanilla story. So yeah, and I unlocked flying. I unlocked flying on my main character. Well, it's account wide, isn't it? So I unlocked flying across the board, which immediately made the game so much more enjoyable in Shadowlands. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you should unlock flying immediately, blah blah blah, but something about the outdoor world design of the zones in Shadowlands is just so like rude. For want of a better term. I mean, obviously in Revendreth it's annoying because you have all of those like massive like changes in freaking elevation in height, and you have to run around and find an elevator to get to that point, and it's a pain in the ass. But also in Ardenweald, like there's this area before the maze where you have to run through there's no other way to get there, run through a pack of elites that you can't solo to get to a world quest which isn't based around doing it in a group or it being elites or anything like that. And it's always just been like, I'm a druid, I can like prowl, I can stealth past them, and it still annoys the hell out of me. So I don't know why they designed those zones that way. I hope that next expansion they take criticisms about that stuff to heart as well. Like, they got rid of a Flight Master's whistle for arbitrary reasons. It feels like a lot of the bad decisions they made in this expansion were for annoying, stubborn developer arbitrary reasons, which it seems like they're trying to get past it now. So Yeah, I've unlocked flying, which has removed a lot of the pain points of the open world gameplay in Shadowlands now, but I hope that I don't have to fucking wait this long to get rid of pain points again. Like, just don't have a pain points, how about that? Beyond that though, I'm enjoying my time in World of Warcraft in a minute, so that's good. Yeah, that's a video, isn't it? That's a weekly waypoint. I feel like I'm, just as like a after note, I feel like I'm really invested in Nintendo all of a sudden. Like, my Nintendo Switch was pretty much gathering dust for a few years. Like, I'll turn it on, like, you know, a handful of times a year around 2019, 2020. But lately, man, I don't know if it's just because they happen to be releasing stuff that, like, interests me, like the Pokémon games and stuff like that, but suddenly I feel like I've had my Switch plugged in for 2 weeks and I haven't turned my Xbox on at all, which is crazy. Because that thing's got Game Pass. I don't know if it's Nintendo doing well or just my mood shifting, but yeah. Maybe expect more Nintendo content soon. I kind of want to get into some of the NES and SNES library stuff, like Breath of Fire, see if that's a good JRPG. There's Golden Sun on there as well, stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of want to finish Xenoblade Chronicles first before I get into another JRPG, but yeah, I want to try retro games. Oh, I tried Donkey Kong Country, it was really fun. Okay, thank you for watching, bye. Sorry, I probably shouldn't end the video that way, should I? I tried Donkey Kong Country, I don't know how far through the game I am. It was really fun, I really love the soundtrack, and it reminded me that there's a bunch of stuff on the retro game libraries that I need to play. I want to play Paper Mario 1 in 64 as well, see if that's any good. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video now. Thank you very much for watching, I'll see you in the next one.